Hi and welcome. In this video, we're going to introduce function transformations. So I'm going to try to give you an overview of everything we need to know when we're doing function transformations, and then we'll have separate videos where we go into more of the details. So we say that a transformation of a function changes the function and its graph by affecting either the inputs or the outputs, or both. So a transformation is something we do to a function that affects the function and its graph, and it is applied to the inputs and the outputs. So our input transformations occur horizontally, and this means that the x values move if the x values are on the horizontal axis. So we can affect the inputs of the function, and graphically these transformations will happen horizontally. Then we also have output transformations. So on the graph, these are going to correspond to some sort of vertical transformation where the f of x values or the y values are what is moving. So this is typically the y values if we're looking at an x and y set of axes. So when we have the input and the output transformations, it's important which order we do these in. So we're going to do the input transformations first, and then the output transformations, which just makes sense with the way that functions work. We adjust the inputs, then the outputs. So if we think about this on a graph, this is going to be doing the horizontal transformations first, and then the vertical ones. So this is what we need to know about transformations, and from this we're going to have three types or categories of transformations: shifting, reflecting, and scaling. So each of these can happen both vertically or horizontally, but these are our three types. So I like to summarize these by writing how they can be affected with a function f of x. So I'm going to write it here. This will make more sense as you watch the future videos where we go into more depth, but I really just want to give you everything you need to know now before we start going into more details. So I'll write this as a times f of b times x plus or minus c, and then the outside we have plus or minus d. So this is all of the possible transformations sort of put here. So the a that comes first would be a vertical scaling. It's on the outside, so it's happening to the outputs of the function, and so it's a vertical transformation. Next, we would have b. This happens on the inside of the function, on the inputs, and so this is a horizontal scaling. Then we have our shifts. So I have plus or minus c. This corresponds to a horizontal shifting. Since it's on the inside of the function, it applies to the inputs. And then we have plus or minus d on the outside. This is applied to the outputs of the function, and so it's a vertical shifting. So these are the scaling and the shifting transformations. Reflections will happen with negative signs that occur on the a and the b, and we'll see that in a separate video. Just know that the reflections will be negative signs being multiplied. So this is sort of our shorthand to represent all of the possible transformations, and these are the basics of what you need to know as we go into trying this in more detail. Alright, so that's a little overview. This might be a nice video to come back to after you've watched the videos about transformations to get an overview of everything that we are learning. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.